morning, guys. So today is week number 3 for the garden. The last time you guys saw me, it was just a little bit of sadness because we had gotten a pretty good frost. But that being said, I took everything off and pruned basically everything that was bad or dead off the plant, and some of them were just basically sticks, like some of the peppers, but they are bouncing back. So I think I'm gonna have very bushy peppers this year, and they're gonna be a little bit behind. But come on in and I will take you through the garden and show you this week. It's not super exciting yet, just little changes, but I'm sure you guys will see something if you've been watching from the beginning. So come on in. Okay, so here is the perennial bed. My iris has actually flowered last week. They're pretty much done. I think it's just because of the late transplant. Everything else, I mean, it's doing good. I'm not expecting much this year. So my strawberries, not really liking the frost very much. The ones in the front here, which I can't remember, I think they're the All-Stars maybe. They're doing the best. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm still planning on moving some more and kind of fixing this bed up for next year. And then my herbs, they are doing fairly decently. I did end up putting some chives in there, the other basil, the old basil is coming up, and the catnip is green again. So I will take you in just a little bit closer next time, I think. Maybe we'll have more changes. Okay, so this is looking down the garden. I think I'm going to get better lighting from the back. So let's do a little bit of walking. Let's see if I can detach the camera here from the tripod and get a good close-up. So these are the Mrs. Mars sunflowers. I have some right there and right here on the end. And then in this row here, I have some slicing straight 8 cucumbers. They got hit pretty well with frost, but only that one right there seems to be dying. Everything else is doing pretty good. I planted zinnias here. I think you guys saw that the last video I had. I believe these are the red or the purple ones. Queen something. And then here I have my pickling cucumbers. I did buy that from a greenhouse just to give it a boost because it was so sad out here. I needed green, and out of nowhere everything started popping up again. So I do have something eating. I think it's a rabbit. He's eating some of my stuff. The sweet dumpling squash. Frost hit it really bad, but it is coming back. I don't know if it actually will or not. I got another one started over here. And then the delicata squash is there. And one's right there. The sunflowers are huge. Getting there. That one got eaten. Zinnias that I threw in. These are the green envies. So something should be coming up soon. I mean, they are. You know, they should really start getting big. And then my golden midget watermelon. It's really tiny, but it's there. And cantaloupe. Nothing here yet. Let's see. My ornamental squash, or gourd, they're the biggest. They are really taking off. And then sweet, or the sugar pumpkin. And another sugar pumpkin. And I have one more I can bring out here. These are my Amish paste tomatoes. They're not doing all of that well. They're kind of tall and spindly. This one was laying right over today. And I picked it up and kind of wove it in. They're kind of at that stage where they're just not quite there, and they're not all that strong. So, but these ones, the blueberry cherries, are huge, and they're weaving really well. The white tomasols, they're a really nice looking plant. And you can see there's just a little bit of frost damage, but nothing bad. I've been just cutting it as the plant grows up. Same with this one. You can see just a tad right in there. And then that one has just a little bit. My peppers, you can kind of see here how I just took all the dead leaves off, and that's what's left. This one too, here is a leaf with frost damage, but look at it, it's just bouncing back. It's really thick. So there are definitely going to be some bushy plants. On this side, these ones, they were bullnose. I did put a couple, replace a few with some bayonets. I just went to a greenhouse, but they're not bouncing back quite as good. Here, I'll show you. Like I said, I just took it down to a stick, and there's just little leaves. They are coming back. So this one, I think, it's pretty bad on the top, so I think that one's just a goner. My corn's doing pretty well. I have a critter that's eating some here and there. Pro-cut white sunflowers. They're growing every day. They just keep growing. The squash, this one is kind of weird. I don't know if it's the variety that has a variegated leaf. To me, it almost looks like powdery mildew, but it doesn't feel like it. Plant feels really healthy, so I think it's just the variety. That one's actually yellow. And then there's these ones right next to it. Something different. They look great. These are my mortgage lifters. They are just beautiful, tall plants. I've been pretty diligent about pruning. It's looking good. Yeah, a few added extras. This one here, I went to the greenhouse and replaced one, and that's a yellow bell pepper. My zinnias, they are making a comeback. I added some marigolds in between. Oh, and also in between the tomatoes up there. I've been watering every night. I didn't water tonight because I'm doing this video instead. It's been such a hot week that I spent 2 hours weeding this on Monday, and I have not wanted to step out here really much since until it's night. So I might try to water yet tonight if I get done with this sooner. But I ended up putting a couple more dill with the cauliflower here. It's growing really well. I think I'm gonna really like how this comes together. The dill should be above the cauliflower. A couple of my zinnias coming up. The tomatillos really came back, but now we're fighting the bugs again. When they were pretty sad looking, there was no bugs. But here's my Prudence purple. You can see where the frost damage is. I gotta cut them off yet, but all the green on the top is new. This is a new plant from the greenhouse. It's a stupus, I believe it's called. And it's an early variety, heirloom. And then the tasty pinks, I got rid of one of them because it just wasn't coming back. Cabbage is looking pretty good, except for this one. I got some bug damage here, and they're also on that zinnia. All of these peppers, I replaced 2 jalapenos, but the one I didn't is looking pretty good. Pepperoncinis are super bushy. My black Hungarian, I was really worried this wasn't gonna make it, but it is, and it's still got some black branches. I got that one off. I'm excited about the pepperoncinis, black Hungarian, and then the paprika right there. I got a new Anaheim. That's the old one. It was pretty bad for a while, so I wasn't sure. And my cayennes are really coming back well. So, Romas, I replaced 2 of them with the greenhouse one, but the Martinos, they're really starting to bounce back. You can still see the frost damage, but the top is just, it's really nice. And I wish they get a little taller though, so I could start you know, winding them up. Okay, so here I have 2 more squash. See? Same thing with the leaves. That one. And here's this one. It came back from a frost. Now these leaves are really different, so I'm not sure what variety this is. And that one got taken out by either the hose or the dog. But I have one started in a pot, so I'm gonna move that out here soon. I had to buy a new Amana orange. The old German I didn't think was gonna make it, but he's pulling through. And then those are all beefsteaks. I actually added a couple, or I added one here, and this one is just a volunteer. And it just so happened that it came up directly underneath the trellis, so it gets to live and stay there. And here's another volunteer that just so happened to be in an exact spot that I planted a seed. And I figure, what the heck? It wants to live, it looks good. So that's where that's at. My canna lilies, they're all coming up in the back row there. Sunflowers, they're doing pretty decent. I did get my corn planted. You can just start to see it in these 4 rows here. It's in there. My Klondike watermelon, I lost both of the ones I planted prior. The frost got them. This popped out directly after the frost, so it made it. I bought a Crimson Sweet watermelon, and that's all that's out here for the watermelon. And then one of the pumpkin plants died. That frosted right off the bat, and then so this one's alive. And then I bought this one from a greenhouse. And I do have flowers coming up in between these. That's why it's not weeded yet. So I'm trying to let the flowers kind of take root. And then up until I get to here, and I don't think I have any. Well, there's a couple. These were the seeds from 2016, so I wasn't sure how they were gonna germinate, and yeah, they didn't. I mean, there's one, so I got a couple, but anyway, here is the garden. Week 3. I'm really excited for, I think if I remember correctly from last year, week number 6 was amazing. From 6 on. So a couple more weeks of little things, and then it should get really, really big and beautiful. So I think I'm going to take you right back to the root bed quick and let you guys get a look at that. I actually watered that twice this week. Yeah, so I think I did pretty good. Each section has some flowers in it. Not very many. A little bit. There's, what, 8 up there? All of these. There wasn't anything in this section, but I did plant a couple of my extra zinnias. There was 3 there. There is 3. That one's just really small. And then out of the 2 or 3 I planted here, I got 1. So I think there is basically, yeah, there's flowers in each section. So, okay. We're gonna move on to the root bed. And yeah, then we'll see you the following week. Okay guys, so here's week number 3 back in the root bed. All the potatoes have sprouted right up. They were frosted, didn't affect them whatsoever. So they're looking really good. I weeded all the carrots. They're completely weeded through. I mean, yeah, there might be a weed here and there, but otherwise they're looking really good. Also, the onions are doing good. My garlic's great. My comfrey's falling over. You know, I just got done saying on that one video how my comfrey is always like beautiful, and yeah, it's not no more. So I think I'm just gonna cut it down and let it like come back again. Otherwise, yeah, there's nothing too much exciting here. I don't have any scapes yet on the garlic. Everything's just growing, just how it should. So I'll bring you in for a little bit closer look so you can appreciate the weeding job I did, because it was hard work to have to do it. I tried to use my hoe, but most of it was picking by hand. Okay. So here are the carrots. They're doing really good. Actually, when you get in here, you can see they're kind of thin. I did thin them out, ish. I've never thinned my carrots before, so I started nicely, and I did pretty good. You know, I could thin them out more, but I just thought I'll start small and then work from there. Everything's weeded except for my garlic. That back corner right there is not the greatest, but yeah, there's nothing all over. Yeah, the onions are looking really well. I do have potato bugs, that's why I never want to grow them here, but it is what it is. Hopefully I can get a good harvest off of these despite the bugs. And I did plant a couple dill here and they didn't like it, so I think I may, out of the 3, maybe 1 will come back. But and then these onions, the red ones, they're doing really good. They're really getting big now. And then the potatoes in here are doing well. And these aren't a purple. They're actually a blue potato. I looked on my order slip. So, yeah. They're all the way to the top. I have the ground filled to the top. My husband thought I should maybe put another tube on there and keep them going up, but I think, I don't know yet. Probably could. So maybe I'll do that. But anyway, that's the garden.